Taylor, running back for the Seattle Seahawks.
Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks.
DK Metcalf.
KJ Wright.
Hey, Burleson, you're watching NorbFam.
NorbFam.
You're watching NorbFam.
All right, we're back. What's up? What's up? Reaching the end of this day 2, round 3. Seahawks, this is moving pretty fast. Seahawks coming up here as we are approaching pick 92. A lot of guys off the board here. What's up, Trey? Moto Kyle 36. Hey, what's going on? Jaguars picking at 89. Seahawks at 92. On the clock are the Rams at 90. All right, one more pick to go here. What's up, Gavin? What do you guys want to see here? I'm trying to see what is left here. We secured Gray, Zabel for the first round, then we get second round. You know, we got our outstanding safety Nick Emanwari, and then we got the tight end Elijah Arroyo. What is next? Receiver, possibly? Perhaps offensive line again? What are you guys hoping to see here? Thoughts on Sam? What's up? Lorenzo is here. Trey Drago is back. Helen, Sean, McKenzie. Thoughts on Sanders? I'm not feeling it myself. To be honest, quarterback was not really a position I felt we needed. I feel like they pretty well took care of the quarterback position for at least this year. Next year might be a different story, but I just don't think we need to reach for anybody at this point here. Well, let's see. We are at pick is in, and now the Rams are on the clock. Let's see, who do we got left here in terms of guys left? You've got Billy Bowman Jr., Dylan Sampson, running back, Xavier Watts, Jaylen Royals from Utah State, wide receiver. It's an option. Jack Sawyer and Savion Jones at the edge. Isaiah Bond at wide receiver. Of course, Sanders, we just talked about, still hanging out there, watching the stock drop minute by minute. Josiah Stewart at edge. Joshua Farmer, D tackle. I don't know. I'm feeling receiver here. Perhaps Jaylen Royals. Let me see. Jaylen, no, when did Jaylen Noel? Did he already go? I see, got Coach Mesh on the line. I got to pull him up and talk to him in a while. Jaylen Noel, he did go wide receiver at 79. He's off the board. He was one of the receivers I had on my list, so yeah, who you guys feeling here? Trey also feels like a receiver. We also do need a linebacker too, but I feel like linebacker and receiver, they're both equally spots we need to fill here. Let me go to the phone line here to Coach Mesh. Coach Mesh, long time no see. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How you enjoying the draft so far?
I'm still questioning that tight end pick.
Well, to me, it's indicative of how they feel about Noah Fant. Noah Fant technically still on the roster, but they could release him, save some money on the cap if they don't feel like he's the guy, or they could keep him on for one more year, finish his deal out. Really just depends on where they see this guy fitting in, like immediate starter or sit behind Noah for a bit. Again, we're going to have a lot of two tight end sets, so we got to have at least 3 tight ends. So,
I mean, yeah,
but
you still have AJ Gardner in like.
yeah.
I'm still mad that Seattle didn't kept Colby Parkinson.
I know he's been doing pretty good in his life after the Seahawks, but that's the thing, right? I mean, we need 3 tight ends. We got to have 3 on the team. We had 3, right? Last year we had Farrell Brown, Noah Fant, and AJ Barner. And I mean, everybody did all right, but we didn't really have that guy who really kind of stepped up. I thought AJ Barner had a pretty good season, but Noah Fant has been kind of underwhelming for the most part for his time here in Seattle. It's just never really stepped up to that level of being the guy where you're like, oh, Noah Fant, we got to keep him, right? And I don't think anyone's sweating him. Okay, here we go. So it looks like the pick is in for the Rams, waiting for this for the name here. Jacksonville did get a guard, Wyatt Milam out of West Virginia. So this is the last draft of the night. After this, and then we go with isn't 4, 5, 6? The rest of it is all tomorrow, isn't it?
Correct.
But I agree with Justin. We do need another O lineman too, and I've said many times already since before the draft started. My goal was to have 2 offensive linemen and a tight end, like guys that we can count on to be on this team for a extended period of time. So we got 2 out of 3 that I was hoping for. But now we still need 1 more. Still need a receiver. Still need inside linebacker. And we still haven't talked about pass rusher or inside defensive lineman either. So, and a case could be made that we need a corner. I mean, that's kind of everything, right? The only thing we don't need running backs. Arguably, don't really need a quarterback. It's obviously the skill positions at kicker, it goes without saying. So, yeah, there's plenty of holes still to fill, but I really just feel like, again, addressing the weakest part of the team. We've already addressed half of it, but we need 1 more to really feel like, okay, we've addressed the weakest part of this offense, and nothing else really matters until we get that solidified. So, well, what are you feeling? You said you weren't feeling the tight end, but what do you want to see here? We're about to pick.
I want to see a linebacker.
You want linebacker now?
That's what I actually wanted instead of the tight end.
Oh, the Rams, they go Josiah Stewart, edge rusher out of Michigan. Yep, that's what I was, one of the guys I was talking about. But so got some edge rushers here worth considering. Wide receiver and potential linebacker here. Seahawks on the clock. Ravens pick is in. This movie is fast, man. This is picking up pace. This went a lot quicker than I thought it was going to go. Justin says, hope 3 O-line, a tight end, a DB, and a linebacker. All that definitely works. 3 O-line, that's a lot. Like I said, I feel like I'll take 2 offensive linemen, throw a wide receiver in there. It's for good measure. Best player available, depending on what you think, according to at least the NFL best player list right now, it's showing Billy Bowman Jr. as safety. We wouldn't take him. Dylan Sampson, running back. The next position we don't need, Jaylen Royals, at least in this list. The next best position, if you feel like the Seahawks could use a wide receiver, or Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State, edge rusher. Let's see if they go that way. All right, here we go. Pick is in. Man, this is going fast. The pick is in. Here we go. 92, the Seattle Seahawks. Select. Trey is go. You can call in. Numbers on the screen. Go for it. I don't have the Discord up right now, so I'm just doing the phone lines.
Hey, Norb.
Yeah.
What's your way too early Super Bowl prediction?
Oh, just like which two teams are going to be in it? Well, hard to bet against the Eagles right now. They're pretty solid. They're still, I'd say, hard to go against them in the NFC. AFC, after watching what the Chiefs did last year, I think Buffalo or Baltimore make strong case that those guys could be it. Oh my God, they went quarterback. I don't hate it, as this is the name I would have thought. If they're going to go with it, they went quarterback Jaylen Milroe from Alabama. Ooh, holy mackerel. Okay.
What?
Not what I was expecting. Not what I thought they should do.
We have 6
Wow.
quarterbacks on our
Oh, man, I'm a bit shocked at this, but I don't, like I said, don't hate it. With the 92nd pick, the Seahawks select Jaylen Milroe, quarterback out of Alabama. What do you guys think? Jaylen Milroe. I mean, if the quarterback, if we were going to take a quarterback, that would be the one. I'm just like thinking, man, really? No receiver, no linebacker, no additional offensive lineman. I thought we were set at quarterback. Trago says, should have went Sander. Sergio says, draft gives, draft takeaway. Trey's Ghost says, it's not letting me call. I don't know. 202-926-1076, and then you got to hit the code 696-153. Jaylen Milroe. Here, I want to put the audio. Let me see if I can put the audio up of the actual call. It's coming up here. It's delayed on my stream here, but I'm going to try to bring up the audio of it in a second. Wow. I'm a little floored here. I thought I'd figured out the Seahawks were their strategy on all this with all the moves they made in the offseason. Let me see. Are they going to do a big announcement thing? I'm going to bring up the audio just for grins.
Of the Seahawks.
Here it is. Here's the official announcement as was announced here live.
Most valuable player and offensive player of the year, Sean Alexander.
What up, 12s? This is so good. This is a family call right here. With the 92nd pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks have selected my nephew, quarterback, Alabama, Jaylen Milroe. Let's go to work, fam.
A lot of groans in the audience.
Another quarterback off the board, boys.
Quarterback off the board. This is
I want to hear this reaction.
Having worked under Ron Wolf, they are always going to go after guys with redeeming traits and qualities. And while he
6'1", he's not the tallest QB out there.
Player, the tools are undeniable. This dude has elite running back type speed. He has big play arm talent. And what you're hoping is that you have a quarterback developer that can maximize what he has. Because this stuff right here, special stuff. And I would say Alabama
He is
didn't use
fast.
him enough.
Right.
They should have been running
6'2",
him
217.
running back and allow him to throw the ball. He has some unique traits. Now, got to put it all together, and it's different than Anthony Richardson. But where you're taking Jaylen Milroe,
Definitely high in the athleticism side of things.
took Anthony Richardson, you had to put him on the field right away. Look, man, you're rolling the dice trying to see if you can find a player. And remember, if he was a quarterback, maybe, just maybe, you can put him in the eye and let him play tailback.
Well, I just, he's so fascinating. I wish we had more time to really get into this because he has, wide receiver speed. He has a linebacker's size. He is just incredibly explosive. He's got a huge arm, but it's really inconsistent, really inaccurate, made bad decisions as a passer. But when he's on, it's really, really difficult to deal with him. And one thing we've seen in the NFL, there's nothing worse than a guy that you can't get off the field on third downs because he can make plays with his legs, and he can do that. But what are you going to do with him this first year behind Sam Darnold? You're just going to sit him on the bench and let him take mental reps?
Yeah.
You don't think he's going to? You don't think you're going to find?
You can't. He's not going to start. He's going to definitely be on the bench to start with.
You can use this position and change to this
But they could use him for other. He is fast. That's the thing. He definitely gives you speed out of the backfield. So they don't necessarily have to start him at quarterback. They can mix him in interesting packages.
One of those wild games in the preseason where he runs.
He can run that read option.
He may not complete a bunch of passes, but he's going to give you that ooh-wee factor. And you're going to have to figure, look at this. He's got quarterback power with the lead.
Think about this. Real quick.
Just watch the highlights.
How about Josh Allen gets the ball snapped?
He's pretty fun to watch, though. Grid Flow with the super chat. Thank you very much. He says, please, can we not immediately compare him to Russ? Well, he's bigger and he's faster than Russ.
And now you got to stop him on third.
There's the C Squatch.
I don't want to make the comparison because it's not the same, but there is something that you just said, Bucky, that resonates.
Hey, somebody's wearing my hair back there.
Think about Malik Willis in the preseason. Another guy that we thought that was a potential first-round pick had to wait.
Right.
And there was some of the ooh, wow moments, and then it didn't play out that way. I don't think
Until
that's
he got
the same.
to Green Bay, and the coach understood how to utilize him because I watched him play in Jacksonville, comes off the bench, and he gets busy because Matt LaFleur and those guys developed him and knew him, and so.
All right, enough of that. Okay. Brandon Williams says, I'm confused. Why Milroe? Well, so he's definitely not starting material, right? He's definitely kind of like let him sit under starter, get some development there, and see. This is potentially QB of the future, long term. I do like the speed and the size. The passing inaccuracy point is a little concerning, but getting texted from friends here. One of my buddies, I thought Seahawks should take a swing at Sanders rather than Milroe. I like Milroe better. Still surprised, though. Yo, Coach Mesh.
So we have 6 quarterbacks on the roster.
Is it that many? We got quite a collection now. We've got, I can name the 4. Because we obviously got Sam Darnold, Drew Lock, Sam Howell, and now Jaylen Milroe. Who are the other 2? As I bring in from the 253 in the conversation. Welcome to the party line. Who's? Hold on, Coach Mesh. Who's this?
This is Trey.
Who is it?
Trey.
Trey? What's up, Trey?
Yeah.
What's going on? Welcome to the show.
Nothing, just watching the draft.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think of this latest pick here, going quarterback? A little bit of a surprise. Definitely caught me off guard. Do you like it? Hate
Yeah.
it? Okay with it?
I mean, on both sides. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, so I like Sam Darnold and stuff. Wait, are you talking about the quarterback or the guard?
Oh, no, I'm talking about the quarterback, the pick they just made. Because
yeah,
the other,
quarterback,
I loved
right.
all three picks. I liked them all. This one was a
Yeah.
little bit surprising because I thought maybe they were going to be good at quarterback and just go, other positions of need. But maybe they had him high on the board and see him as a potential future guy. But
Yeah. I mean, like, so I wanted a wide receiver or something because we have
Same.
Sam Darnold and lock and backup and Sam Howell. And so I wonder if we're going to get rid of Sam Howell or what.
I think we're getting rid of Sam Howell. I don't know if they're going to
Yeah.
how they're going to move him. Obviously, I don't think his stock value is very high. He didn't do much. In fact, probably lowered his stock value after picking him up from Washington before last season. And his debut with the Seahawks was ugly at best. And now here we are with with an extra quarterback and Sam Howell. What to do with him? And Coach Mesh, what were you saying now about you said we have 6 quarterbacks? I counted 4. What are the other 2?
Wait.
Is Coach Mesh still here? Let me see. Hold on a second. While you guys are digesting, I just want to see. I've been tuning into the guys at KJR and hearing their reactions on things too.
Yeah.
Like in the
Hold on a second.
running for the best core. I think right now you say, okay, who's the most feared runner at the quarterback position? I think it's Lamar Jackson. I don't think Josh Allen would be far behind. Not because Josh Allen's as fast as those guys, but Josh Allen is an actual Buffalo.
Millen,
He's like 6'5",
former quarterback
250.
and
He's a Buffalo.
analyst for
and so the
KJR.
combination of his speed, which is pretty good, 4.75 ish,
Seattle.
but the strength, and he's got good running instincts. Like Josh Allen's a load as a runner, not Lamar Jackson load.
Killer Cam, this is my brother
in
speaking.
my mind, when we talk about running
Trey, is
quarterbacks,
Killer Cam your
they're
brother?
kind of in different categories. And
Yeah.
like Jayden
okay.
Daniels
Nice.
is in the Lamar Jackson category, right? And he's in the discussion for the best running quarterback.
Milroe
But
does look like Lamar Jackson a little bit
this
when he
kid,
runs.
Jaylen Milroe is in the Anthony Richardson running category. Like not just fast, but strong. Like he can finish the run. You can run quarterback power in the A gap or the B gap and go right through
Thanks for the sub,
domain,
Killer
right
Cam. I
through the hash
appreciate
marks. In the domain where your Mike linebacker might slip a block and boom, and he can take on a block from a linebacker. That's a big difference. Like you didn't run Russell Wilson even in his prime. You didn't run him in between the hashes. You ran him on read zone where he's going to keep it in the alley outside the tackle. That's a different place on the field. This kid Milroe can run anywhere on the field. He can run in the out. He can run wide quarterback sweeps. Go back and look at the Georgia game. He's running quarterback sweeps where he just touched the ball as soon as he.
Okay, so I guess a good way to look at this, right? It's kind of like the Jordan Love scenario in Green Bay, right? He sat under Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years, right? And even at the time when the Packers drafted him, I think a lot of people were like scratching their heads knowing that Aaron Rodgers was still playing. But this is kind of a different case because we know that Sam Darnold is only going to be here for 2, maybe 3 if it's a successful first 2 years. So you give Milroe a couple years to develop and hopefully maybe he becomes that quarterback of the future. Obviously he can run, which is an awesome element to have. He's got to be able to throw the ball though. You know, he's got to have the stuff upstairs too. But if he can be anything like Lamar Jackson from a running standpoint, I mean, that would be fun to watch. But he's got to be able to make the passes, make the throws. You know, that's what we got to see if you get the chance to do that. We'll probably see him play some preseason, right? Get some reps, get some touches. We'll get a little sneak peek at what we got there, hopefully. But expect him to be sitting for a while Sam Darnold carries the team for the next couple of years. So, anyway. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to convince myself into saying, okay, this is good. I'm getting over the fact that, okay, no receiver, no second offensive lineman, no linebacker.
Yeah.
That's okay. This will be good. This will be good. SL was at our last pick tonight. That is it. This draft ends in about 5 more picks. It ends after pick 102, number 38 here in the 3rd round. So, well, surprising, but I don't hate it. Like I said, I don't hate it because I did think about it. I had him on my list as, okay, you know what, you have your board, right? You got the guys who you would take if you could get this guy if he was available at this position. And I had, if we're going to go quarterback, I'm looking at my right here, quarterback, Jaylen Milroe. So while it was at the bottom of my priority list, I had wide receiver, linebacker, and then edge rusher, cornerback, quarterback. It was the last list of priorities on my list, but he was number 1 on that list, ahead of Shedeur Sanders. So that's why I don't hate it, because it makes sense. It's just hard to go, but then you're missing out on what kind of good talent could we've gotten, at the wide receiver position, which we'll need, or another offensive lineman. Because and now tomorrow we're picking at what do we pick up at tomorrow? 137. So it's going to be, near the back end of this. Round 4.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Start dropping in here, and I mean, you can still find some good quality here at the 4th and 5th rounds that we've seen, but it becomes a little hit and miss, depending on how well you've done your homework and your scouting, So
yeah.
Justin says, if you ever want to bring a vet to a game, I've never been to one, by the way. LOL, love seeing you and your pops, though. Justin Salvage. Send me an email, Justin, norb@norbcam.com, and let me know. We can, there's always games, and I've got a couple sets of tickets here, and I haven't figured out. Last year, I sold my entire second set to a friend of mine, but she's not doing it this year. So I've got a whole second set of tickets that I have to figure out if I'm going to try to sell this season or just sell them piecemeal week by week or do something else with them. So anyway, I've got tickets to play with. But the good thing is my buddy Pat, who has not been to a game in a long time, he was taking care of his ailing mother who passed away at the end of the year last year, which has been very tough on him, but he will be back watching games like the good old days come this season. So I'm looking forward to spending more time at the stadium with my buddy Pat, because I've missed that for the past 2 years or more. Justin Silvers, let me put my email in. I'll put it in the chat. Norb@norbcam.com. There you go. That's for you in the chat. Yeah. So there we go. It's exciting. All these different players, and then you also have to remind yourself everybody's stocking. Everyone's restocking. Every one of these teams are getting better with all these players you didn't get. Someone else is getting them, and you just hope you stay a little bit ahead of the game. But yeah, it's been a pretty good balance, because we've gone 2 offensive positions, 2 defensive positions, right? You go offensive lineman, then safety, and then tight end, and now quarterback. And I don't know, maybe the Seahawks maybe they feel pretty good about their wide receiving core. I mean, it's not an empty. While we lost Lockett and DK, who do we have right now? We've got Cooper Kupp comes in. We got JSN, of course. We got Cooper Kupp came in.
Yeah.
MVS. Then you got the guys who are already here, like Jake Bobo. Some of these other guys who've been kind of like special teams, 4th, 5th receiver types.
Yeah, special teams. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so, I'd love to see Bobo step up. I mean, I like Bobo. He's fun to watch. He's made some pretty good plays, but he would rarely get seen because obviously he was the kind of the odd man out most of the time. But, I'm hoping that Cooper Kupp is going to be, as wide receiver 2, JSN's, going to get all the attention. But maybe that's a good thing. If JSN requires demands the extra coverage, then Cooper Kupp could be the guy. He's not wide receiver 1 anymore, but he can definitely still get open. And, Valdez-Scantling, pretty big guy, pretty good speed. It's sometimes questionable about his hands, but he could stretch the field. Still got pretty good speed. So, we're definitely not short on receivers. It's just, do we have enough quality receivers to work with what the system that we have here? And we got a new tight end too. So, a lot of new things we're going to see with a new offensive coordinator, new offensive line coach, new philosophy. I feel like it's going to look very different, hopefully different in a good way. In a way that we maximize even the offensive linemen that we already have, that they're going to be better suited to this scheme that will make them even look better than they were last year, even though they're the same guys, guys who are still there right now. The Lucases and the Crosses, the Oluwatimi maybe, there's other guys, we let's not forget there's players. We've got a lot of offensive linemen. It's just we kind of had it must be weird to be an offensive lineman who's on the staff already, because they get so much hate, so much talk of being like the worst lineman in the world, and yet these guys have to wear that and be going, man, they're talking about me. They're talking about that we suck, and we got to restock the whole thing. I'd like to think that they're going to be motivated. Christian Haynes, drafted last year, didn't really quite see the field as often as we thought he would or hoped he would. Going to come out and be like, I'm going to prove to the world that I can be the starting right guard. If Gray Zabel becomes the starting left guard, presumably, then maybe he becomes starting right guard. And then who becomes the center? Is it Sundell? It's going to be Oluwatimi. Will they draft somebody? But maybe one of these guys steps up who we already have. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fun to imagine how it's going to go. Killer Cam, everyone spam Trey in the chat. Is Jaylen next to Russ? Is it guaranteed? I wouldn't even compare the two. First of all, Jaylen is taller and faster than Russ, I would say. Russ was probably a more accurate thrower.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know about the leadership aspect, but he, played in Alabama, so you're playing some of the best teams, in college football. So, getting that pro style offense. So, yeah, maybe higher upside. It's just really a question: can he throw? Right? We've seen a lot of quarterbacks who can run but can't throw. I think of Justin Fields, right? Another quarterback with really great speed, but can he throw the football? He's definitely not as accurate as Russ has been, which is why the Steelers didn't keep either of those guys. North wants to know, why is nobody taking Sanders? Well, I think it kind of goes without saying. I don't know if he's a bust yet, but we're talking first round hype to drop in. He might not make it. I mean, he's got 4 more picks to get picked up in the 3rd round, and I kind of don't see that happening. The Raiders, if they were going to take him, I think they would have taken him already. 49ers are not going to take him. The Eagles aren't going to take him. The Vikings aren't going to take him. He's going to drop to the 4th round. The farther he drops, the less. I just missed this. That Dylan Gabriel even got drafted, quarterback out of Oregon, goes to Cleveland. So we got 4 quarterbacks picked ahead of Shedeur Sanders. I think that's 4 quarterbacks who were taken ahead of him. We had Jackson Dart in the 1st round, and then 2, 3, I think it's 4. I think 4 quarterbacks in advance. Not looking good for the young man. Very, very interesting. Let's see. Yep. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is interesting. Carrito MVP 11 says in the chat, Bama fan here. Okay, it's always good to hear from a college fan who's been watching the guy. Jaylen is raw prospect, but he has good leadership, good locker room guy, and great athlete. The concern here is nowhere did you say anything about that he can throw the football. Can he throw the football? Mm-hmm. Can he spin it? Can he throw the deep ball? Does he have good vision? Does he make good decisions? This is great. I love to hear this. Good leadership. That's Russell Wilson kind of stuff, right? He can obviously run, but can he throw the football? Can he thread the needle? Can he make quick reads and get the ball out on time? Those are the big questions that you got to ask that are the difference between, a great quarterback and an okay one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rousers. Oh, let's see. Oh, he adds to this. Jaylen Milroe has a great deep arm, and he can read 1 through 3, but he does struggle with short throwing. That can be fixed with coaching. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks come out of Alabama. Some have done very well. Others, not so well. People asking, is he the next Lamar? Rouser, is he the next Lamar Jackson? He certainly looks like he can run like him. Maybe even not just fast, but big too, right? Like a hybrid between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Not quite as big as him, maybe not as fast as Lamar, but you take the combination of the two and put them together. Ooh, I kind of like that. Jaden says, I saw you at the Seahawks versus the Giants game. Yeah, good. Bad game. Bad memories of that game. The Giants lost 3.
Oh, yeah.
Only won 3 games that year, and we were one of them.
Yeah.
Pathetic. Terrible.
I was at that game.
You were at the game too?
Yeah, it was.
That was painful. I remember that at the end when I thought we were going to go to overtime with a field goal kick.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, okay, we can make up for all the trash play we've had all the game. And then I didn't watch because I was so nervous. I just didn't look. I said, okay, I'm gonna let the sound of the crowd tell me what I need to know. Now, of course, in a field goal, you expect to have that. And then there's this pause. Everybody holding their breath as the ball goes to the air, and then you hear but instead it was I was like, wait a minute, that didn't sound good. And the next thing I look up, and dude is running down the field the wrong direction. That was a hard game.
Yeah.
Grid flows. Please stop putting these expectations on these players. You will be disappointed when he's not a 2-time MVP. I didn't say he's going to be Lamar Jackson. I just said he looks like him the way he runs. But I know. I don't want to get caught up in the feeling of saying, Byron Murphy is the next Aaron Donald, because there were those comparisons made, stuff like that. So believe me, I already said this guy's gonna have to sit on the bench for 2 seasons. So, if we had the next Lamar Jackson, we wouldn't be saying he's going to sit on the bench. Oh, look at this. Sam and Mavs vlogs with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much. So got banned from Brendan Nelson's stream for saying, I liked the Jaylen pick. You a real one, Norb. Let's go, Hawks. Going to be a great season. Well, thank you very much. I know Brendan Nelson. You got banned because you said you liked the Jaylen pick? I'm surprised that would get you banned out of there. But, okay, well, welcome here. And then thank you for the support, man. I appreciate it. Carrito adds, this is our Bama fan, says, Jaylen Milroe also has a great work ethic like Jalen Hurts. I like that. A good work ethic is always great. Gridflow says, Vic and Cam were number 1 picks, and Lamar was a Heisman winner. What's the thumbnail of the live? I don't know if I can change the thumbnail of the live. I can't remember what I put on there. Oh, the pick is in thumbnail? What's wrong with that? It's old. It's from the Detroit draft. But Here, I'll just put this one up. I'll put that one in its place. It's 2025. There you go.
Yep.
Let's see here. That's the thumbnail, Norb. Gavin Corbett, what other positions do you think we need to draft for tomorrow? Well, nothing's changed. I'm kind of here for it. Where Justin says, yeah, I'm pretty much on it. Wide receiver, linebacker, edge rush, O-line. Yeah. I'd throw maybe corner in there too. I mean, how many picks we got left now? We've got, again, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 2 in the 7th. So we've got 6 picks left. We should be able to accommodate all these positions. Wide receiver, linebacker, edge, O-line, and a corner. There's enough to get there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions, and we got 6 picks to do it. So barring any surprises, I don't think we should draft a running back. So if we just don't draft a running back and we pretty much get every other position, we hit everything else. The only thing that we haven't really mentioned here is like interior defensive line. We're kind of thin in the nose tackle department. That's another spot that's kind of missing too. So I guess you can't have it all. I mean, you only have so many picks, right? Unless they trade back. But this is where we're starting to get the lower side of the, we can get some good stuff here in the 4th and the 5th. Yeah, in the 6th and 7th, there's a little bit of a trade-off. Gridflow says, Sam and Mavs vlogs, I think we take 1 more lineman with our next pick. Yeah, I hope so. If we do that, then I'd be feeling like, okay, my 3 needs have been met. Still a little bit surprised at the quarterback thing, but I can rationalize that. It makes sense. Gridflow says, Sanders falling is crazy. Not a first rounder for sure, but he is better than these quarterbacks. Interesting. Gridflow. Got the Sanders apologist here, trying to make sense of the stock drop of Sanders here. Oh, who's this? We got another caller on the line for the 509. Well, let's find out who it is. Who's this?
Yes.
From the 509. Who's this?
Hello?
Yes, you are on with NorbCam. Welcome to the show. What's your name?
My name's Jaylen.
Jason?
Jaden.
All right, Jaden. You must be from the east side of the state.
I'm from Washington.
Yeah, Eastern Washington, I see. Spokane area?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the show. What do you think of the draft so far?
Oh, I haven't watched the draft yet.
Oh, you haven't been watching it?
Nah.
Oh, okay. So you haven't even been keeping up on the picks that we've made so far?
Nah, I just joined in the live stream right now.
Oh, right on. Well, I'll tell you who we got, and I can see what you think of this. Yeah. So yesterday we got an offensive guard.
Yeah, we got
Gray Zabel, and then
a new tight end.
And then we got a safety, Nick. What's his last name? Amonwari. Emanwari, and then we had for a third selection was Elijah Arroyo, tight end, and then now we just got a quarterback, Jace. What's his name? Milroe. So, you like those? You like those moves? You want? Did you want to see something different? Or are you happy with that?
With the Giants versus the Seahawks.
What's that?
How was your reaction with the Giants versus the Seahawks?
Oh, I just talked about that game a minute ago. Painfully horrible. One of the most disgusting losses. Cost us the playoffs. And we still should have won that game. Even as badly as we played for 4 quarters, we should have got sent to overtime and probably won that game. Just terrible.
Yeah.
AH, can I please get a shout out? There you go. And yes, you're welcome for changing the thumbnail.
I know. I thought you had the game.
Oh, did we like actually run into each other?
No, it just like saw you just walked in, like picked your seat.
Oh, okay.
Live stream.
Well, I got you. But you were also at the game. You were at the stadium though to watch that game.
Yeah, I was like behind you.
Oh, you sit in the same section in 334, or just happened to be that day?
Not like there, but like we were like 5 rows back.
Yeah, but like literally behind me.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember. I can't remember if it was that game, but I remember some people like waving down at me saying, "Hey," we're like watching the stream. So I was like shooting the people behind me, trying to get you guys on the camera. So maybe that was one of you. That might have been you. That was.
That was my first game.
First game ever?
Yeah.
Wow. Boy, sorry that had to be your first experience. I mean, what a terrible first game.
It was a great experience.
Huh?
It was a great experience.
It was a great experience. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I mean, it's
yeah.
You know.
I'm probably going to go to another game.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
probably against the 49ers.
This is a fun year, you know. That's going to be always a high demand game. I'm going to bring Justin in. I'm just kind of keeping all the lines open here. Also from the 509, Justin is here. Justin, welcome to the party line here on NorbFam, the draft party line. Welcome.
Thanks, Norb.
You're welcome. We were just talking about, the draft, past experiences, but are you tracking the draft?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been in chat with you talking. I'm stoked to brag to my Dallas Cowboy fan of a dad that we got warrants from them. We're actually building spots we need, unlike Dallas.
Dallas is man, what a mess Dallas has been. But I see you here, Justin. Yeah, right. I was calling you out here, and there you are, now on the line. I'm glad you called in. Are you happy with every single pick we made, even the quarterback pick?
Not the quarterback pick necessarily. We talked a little bit on that. I mean, we have way too many quarterbacks in our roster right now. You and I were talking. We wanted a linebacker or a receiver. Right. I definitely would have rather seen a linebacker.
Yeah,
nice.
It can make some sense out of it, though, right? I mean, I could see the thought process behind. This is a longer term, intermediate term, not the solve an immediate need next year type of thing. This is a 2 years down the line kind of thing.
Right, and look what Michael Penix did last year with the Falcons. We all thought they were crazy in drafting him, and it worked out.
That's true.
For all we know, it could be the same scenario where we lose Darnold or even Luck, and then we end up, third man down, and who knows what happens from there. Look what the 49ers did with Brock Purdy. Same scenario.
That's true. I hope we don't go to that. I really do hope they succeed with Darnold.
Absolutely.
I'd like to just see that plan work, and they give Milroe just the time to get that the whole Jordan Love thing. I mean, that worked out so well with the Packers. I mean, talk about they have had like the best transition of franchise quarterbacks in the NFL. Granted, they've only won Super Bowl, but you think how they went from, in the span of like how many years now, like 20 something years, they went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. I mean, talk about a perfect passing the torch to like your next best quarterback who's here to stay for a while. Exactly. I mean, that's a pretty damn good management of that situation. There's not a whole lot of teams that you can say have had that smooth of a quarterback. Usually it's something worse. I can't think
of a team off the top of my head in the last 20 years that's done something like that.
Granted, again, they've had as many Super Bowl wins as we have within the span, if you don't include the one that Favre got. But they've been pretty consistent. They've been consistently getting into the playoffs more often than we have.
Playoff games, exactly. Dangerous teams in the playoffs, and they're always a threat.
Yeah, they kicked our butt big time last year. Man, that was the ugly. That was the ugly game where it felt like, hey, we're ready to make a push for the playoffs. We've got our defense figured out. Everything's good, and then they kind of ran up and down us. Our defense was all of a sudden bad again.
Yeah, we got humbled there, didn't we?
Yeah, and then that was the Sam Howell welcome to the playing with the Seahawks game, and it was like, oh God.
Yeah, welcome to the shoddy offensive line for the last half decade.
Granted, he was put in there in a pretty bad situation, but then again, when is a backup quarterback ever put in a not bad situation, right? They never come in when you expect them to, and they're never going to get the first round reps. It's rare that a quarterback gets hurt and has the luxury to say, "Oh, I'm down this week. Okay, you got a whole week to prepare back up." No, it's like, "Oh, he's out. He took a bad shot. He's got a concussion or something." All of a sudden, boom, he's out, and there's like,
you're down 14.
clipboard, drop it, get in here. So, you can only excuse so much of that. But he just did not look good. It was weird because he'd started for Washington the year before. And granted, he threw a bunch of picks. He also threw a bunch of touchdowns, but he looked like he'd never been on the field before when he came out in that game. He looked lost and scared, running like just throwing the ball away out of panic almost.
I think he looked like Mike McDaniels, when he first stepped on the field. Like, it was just a mess. He had no idea where to throw to, who to throw to, who could do what. Like, it was just no preparation.
Yeah. Well, I think we can safely say that Sam Darnold's days are numbered. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Thank you for, he says he's been watching me since 2022. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Gridflow adds, Penix was better than Milroe. That's why he was a first rounder.
I'm not saying he's not better than them either. I'm just saying, the situation that he was introduced in was probably a better situation than most quarterbacks experience.
Well, and I was ready to. I would have been happy if Seahawks had drafted him. I was kind of hoping that Penix would fall to where we did we draft last year? It was like 12. Were we 12?
Who was it?
He got drafted. I think he got traded up by the Falcons right before us.
Oh yeah, no, the Falcons drafting him at whatever it was 6 or something. I mean, just messed up everyone's draft boards. Just got blown to smithereens after that. Yep. Also, everybody was like panicking and getting quarterbacks. But I was hoping he'd drop to us, and we'd have a chance to actually like be tempted with the opportunity to get him, because I actually would have liked
that trade.
Definitely.
So, but it didn't happen, so we didn't get to see that. But I mean, this is a late third round pickup. So this is about where we got Russ.
And I think wasn't Russ a late third or fourth round even?
He was the third. I can't remember exactly what pick number he was, but he was in the third. So yeah, you could compare at least the starting point where they grabbed him at. And Russ wasn't even supposed to be the starter, as you guys recall. It was supposed to be Matt Flynn from Green Bay was the assumed starter. They paid him a double-digit millions of dollars, and he took the starting role from him. Now, I don't think that'll happen here. I don't see him taking the spot over from Sam Darnold.
Happening with Darnold. But like you said earlier, it's football. You never know. It could be the worst draft pick ever, and it could end up being the superstar player of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. It's interesting to see what this might all amount to. But yeah, definitely a longer term scenario. But I would love to see him play some preseason games and just see what he can do. Let's see. Fish Kepper, interesting take on the long-term thinking. Well, I got to rationalize this somehow, because my first reaction to drafting the quarterback was shock, because I was ready to go, receiver, pass rusher, linebacker, right? My brain was ready for that. Yeah. It wasn't ready for quarterbacks. I was like, oh, okay, they must be thinking, yeah, this is what it is. This is what they're doing. So
yeah, when you said that, my brain went, and John Snyder did John Snyder things.
yeah, that's it, right? It's like we have all these needs here, but now we're going to over here. We're just going to do this and make you guys wonder what the hell's going on. Sentai Ranger Donnie, Greek each week raid. Hello, Norb and all. Hope everyone's well. All right, Geek, not Greek. Geek each week raid. All right. Well, welcome, Geek each week. Gridflow, he said, maybe I'm biased because he went to UW, but Milroe is not as pro-ready as Penix was. Yeah, it's a third rounder versus a first rounder, and I agree. Penix was definitely, he's a much better thrower. Penix has got a great arm. That dude is like, you saw it. Long balls.
Yeah.
Tight windows. You keep Penix protected, he's gonna inflict some damage, and obviously he showed that with Atlanta last year, late in the year. Age. Guess my age. Wow. Guess somebody's age without even knowing anything about him other than the fact that he subscribed to me in 2022. All right, I get a 5-year grace period, just like they do. If you're going to one of those carnivals and they have the mind reader, and they say, "Okay, I'm going to guess your weight within 5 pounds," or "I'm going to guess your age within 5 years." All right, I'm going to guess. So I get a 5-year grace here. I'm going to say 15. But I'm guessing you're younger, not out of high school yet. Age, you let me know if I'm close. Rouser says 12. Oh, H said 12. Hey, well, I said 17, right? I said 17? So technically I was within the 5-year mark. 17 minus 12 is 5, so I just made it inside the mark. That's also the scam of it. When you go to these things when they guess it, when they tell you that you got this 5 pound or 5-year thing, that really means you got a 10-year or 10-pound range, because you can go 5 years on this side of it or 5 years on that side. And it's pretty easy to guess somebody's weight within 10 pounds or somebody's age within 10 years, unless they're really super young or super old looking. Anyway, so technically, I got it close enough. Pyro Griffin with the $5 super chat. Thank you. I think the plan with Milroe is to use him as a Taysom Hill type player. I love the upside of the pick, high risk but high potential reward. I don't mind that either. The Taysom Hill idea where he kind of comes in on specialty situations and just runs the football, that would be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind that. That would be pretty cool. You don't see too many Taysom Hill type players used in that way, but we'll find out soon enough. In a few months, we'll find out what the plan is.
I was asking if he had hands, if he can catch, and use him as a trick play, kind of Swiss Army player.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But I like the idea to come down the backfield because, the dude looks like a really tough runner. That's you. That's my thought. Kind of a trick play, Swiss Army type guy. Good flow. Close game between Lakers and Wolves. Somebody asked me what my favorite NBA team is, and I don't really have one. I'm waiting for the Sonics to come back so I can get back into the NBA again. Just have not been following it ever since the NBA got out of it here in Seattle. However, which reminds me to look at my other favorite Seattle team, the one that's playing right now, I think. What the hell, Seattle? You go and do this awesome road trip, and then to the pathetic Marlins, you go down 8-4 at home.
Yeah.
Mariners suck at home. They can't play in their own field. 8-4. What is up with that? Let's see. Where are we in the draft? Did we finish? Are we close? Are we done? Are they done? Final pick was a wide receiver to the Vikings. Ty Felton. So, as predicted, Sanders drops yet another round, now drops to the 4th round of the NFL draft. I'd say poor guy, but I think he's, he's doing quite well for himself, regardless of this ego hit. I'm sure he'll get drafted sometime. What's that? He'll be Mr. Irrelevant?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That would be pretty fun if he did. That would be pretty wild. There must be something out on him that's just like...
Go from a first-round potential to the last person.
There's just got to be more than just some physical thing. Maybe there's an attitude, personality thing that's just... They're not liking it. You know what I'm saying? Because... Pretty crazy to drop. When's the last time a quarterback dropped who was a first-round hype to drop this far? Can you guys remember?
Aaron Rodgers, maybe?
Aaron Rodgers? Oh, we got Lewis in here, KC Sports Nerd. We'll entertain that question here. What's up, KC?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up?
Welcome to the show. We're just doing a little, just a party line conversation about the draft so far. As a Kansas City fan, how has the draft been for you so far? How do you like your draft?
To be honest, it's more like, to be honest, I think really
whatever like my team's done does not overshadow obviously what most I think of y'all have been talking about with Shedeur Sanders and this quarterback situation. I'm actually up in Syracuse right now. I go to school here in Syracuse, and Kyle McCord, the Syracuse quarterback, is still on the board. I think it's still incredibly feasible that he could easily go before Shedeur Sanders. And I think I like what a lot of your people have been saying. Like, I think that these scouts definitely look at something, or there's something like he didn't handle this draft process so seriously, and it really like shows to a lot of scouts or something of like whoever evaluates like talent in a lot of these teams that it could really translate that message across. And I think it might just send a message, honestly, to a lot of other quarterbacks or other positions down the road that like you have to take this process seriously, or else it could really reflect on your position in the draft.
That's a good point. He does seem like he was acting a little entitled, from the way that his, getting his jersey retired there in Colorado. And I'm sure his dad maybe has something to do with it. It's hard to separate him from his father, being such a big personality and character that they know that when they get him, they're getting the dad too. I wonder if that's got something to do with it, but it's definitely
honestly,
concerning for him.
I feel like the team that I was looking at, this sounds like kind of like unsurprising, but I was thinking it could just be the Cowboys. Like, they're always in the drama. Like,
true.
If there's
He'd fit right in there.
Why wouldn't it be them?
Good point. Hey, I want you to explain something to me. I was confused.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, he'd be a perfect landing place for the Cowboys. But explain something to me, KC Sports Nerd. How did, because I wasn't really paying attention at the end of the first round yesterday. What happened? How did KC and Philadelphia switch spots? What was the logic behind that? I didn't get that.
I didn't get that either.
Honestly, what I would say is to be honest, like when you especially with a team with us who's really in need of offensive line, stuff like that. The only reason would be to really switch spots. I could see. I was also confused, same like you. The only logic I really see would just be sort of the player that we got wouldn't have been available at our next pick. That's the only real logic I see. But I really also agree with you 100%. I was also totally shocked when that happened as well.
Too.
What I was thinking about when that happened was it a financial decision? We have too many players to pay on our roster, and we have too many picks. We just got to let one go, so we give away 2 picks for 1 pick?
That definitely could be on the board. Especially with Mahomes' contract. It definitely could be something that could be a financial thing. From what I've seen, I've not heard anything of that. That definitely, I think, though, is a possibility. But my only thing I can really say as of now, from what I've seen, is either they didn't think that player was going to be there, and they just thought, let's just switch spots and try and trade to switch spots so we can try and get this. That's really the only thing that I've seen.
But to say that they did that because they were concerned the player wasn't going to be there, the only team that could have taken this player from them is the team they did the trade with, because they were next after them. So they literally, by swapping places, they're literally saying,
why would they have traded that?
Why would they trade to the team that they're afraid they're going to lose the player to?
For a fifth round.
It was just, to me, I was completely this is all very good points as well. It's a very interesting question, I'd say, but also I've seen also with other teams really in the past, we just trade with other teams, just a spot, just for also somewhat similar reasons as well. So honestly, what I would guess what it was, if I had to guess, would probably be what one of your callers just said, would probably be something financially, because I think the biggest thing about and I've said this to so many people for so long, is when Mahomes' contract was signed, and he's a once-in-a-generational quarterback, no doubt about it, but it does definitely, with your cap space, it kind of messes things up, to a certain degree, because you're paying him so much money over such a long period of time. So it's just I think, honestly, if I would say, I haven't seen anything from any B reporters or sources that I follow in the NFL that said something financially, but I think that's definitely a good rationale that for that reason, for why those picks were swapped.
Yeah, okay. I haven't looked into it more closer, but yeah, it was. I remember just looking at the board, going, "Wait a second, why are the Eagles picking ahead of the Chiefs?" If my memory recalls, the Eagles won that Super Bowl.
Same thing, and I still am till this time trying to figure out exactly.
Okay, all right. I thought you might have had some secret insight as the KC sports nerd, but yeah, interesting, very very interesting. Rudy's World in the chat said,
what would you say, like, I was just thinking from your team's perspective, so your team obviously took Alabama's Jaylen Milroe. Do you see any reason, like, from maybe like a Shador? I mean, obviously Shador is maybe the eye-popping one, but like some of the other quarterbacks like Will Howard or Quinn Ewers on the board, do you think there may be a particular reason that they took Milroe instead of some of those other quarterbacks?
Let's see, who was still left at that point?
Will Howard was still there. Quinn Ewers was still there.
There was some
who led the passing offense and the best passing offense in the country last year was still there, and obviously Sanders was still there. So those are just a few names just to get to you.
Sutton Hawk, by the way, from the 541 is joining the party line. Welcome, Sutton.
Hey, Norb, what's up, man?
How is Hamilton the Corgi doing?
Oh, he's doing good. He's right here sitting next to me.
Aw, being a little cute loaf of bread.
Yeah.
But back to your question, though. Why this quarterback versus others? Good question. I don't know. Maybe it does hint more towards the idea that they might try to use them in a different specialty situation. You know, that do the Swiss Army knife trick play thing. That maybe it isn't just all about the quarterback for the future, but maybe the quarterback for the future who can do other things. You know, as a runner. I kind of like that idea.
I honestly say, like, from all this press about Sanders just makes this weak QB class look even weaker. It just does not make it look good at all. Is one thing I will say.
Yeah, it's definitely different from last year where didn't they draft like 5 quarterbacks in a row in the first round versus this one?
It's crazy. Like I thought Kyle McCord and like
5 quarterbacks and 10 receivers
by later tonight. Easy.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Hey, what do you guys think is your what was the most unexpected, or maybe like the worst or most unexpected pickup by any team in the draft so far?
Jackson Dart, the Giants.
Yeah, Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. Well, yeah, you just signed Wilson to a contract. You just brought in Jameis Winston, and now you're going to bring in Dart.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a popular thing now to just crowd up your quarterback room with a bunch of guys and have to figure things out. I mean, it seems like it's
the most
popular thing to do.
Position, so why not?
How do you guys see that playing out? My guess is that Russ gets the starting job. Jackson Dart takes the backseat developmental role. Winston kind of is the odd man out, but you can imagine in New York, right? Russ throws his first multi-sack, multi-interception game 2 weeks into the season. You know what they're going to be screaming for. Patience is not very
instantly.
They're going to be like immediately.
Jackson, 1 through 3.
And
it's like, what are the Steelers doing? What are the Steelers doing at the QB position right now?
What do they got in there? Mason Rudolph?
They didn't even draft a QB yet, have they?
Right.
They brought Mason Rudolph is their guy right now, isn't it? Mason Rudolph? Isn't he the quarterback?
Yeah, Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, they're also holding out on Rodgers, and it's not a guarantee that he's going to start.
Rodgers, what a diva, man. Yeah, my biggest surprise move or not move was when the Bears took Colston Loveland instead of Tyler Warren at tight end.
That was shocking.
I was like, wait a minute, you could have had Tyler Warren, you took the other guy. They must have really saw something that they liked better about the other ones. I thought for sure Tyler Warren was the de facto number 1 tight end.
It was a schematic move, one fit better into their system.
And must have been because obviously they had the pick of the litter and they went that way instead. Gridflow says Steelers are going to get Aaron Rodgers, he says.
Yeah, what I think they're going to do in New York is
going to be after another dark period that he goes through?
I don't know. We'll see. What were you saying, Trey?
What I think they're going to do in New York is give Russ the starting job in that Russ and all these people like develop Dart because Russ knows some pretty good knowledge. So I think that they're going to, and then when they need him in the game, they're going to put him in.
Yeah, I agree.
That won't be till like 7, 8, 9, probably week 7, 8, 9. If he even plays action this season, 7 years. He'll be Winston coming in before Dart. They're not going to use Dart till later in the season, like Penix got used.
Oh yeah,
I want Russell been in the game for 7, 8 years.
You're talking about Russell
very
Wilson?
Good knowledge.
Russell Wilson's been playing since 2012. It's 13 years.
13 years now.
He was drafted in 2012.
And in my opinion on him, still never changed. I'm sorry, guys. I never really liked Russ.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys hating on the guy.
Russ, but
hating on the Russ.
This seems sort of foolish to me to sort of bring up, but at what point does Tomlin's job come into question?
At what point did whose job come into question?
Tomlin for the Steelers.
They
they haven't won a playoff game since 2016.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of the running joke with the Steelers, right? It's like Tomlin's like he's Mr. Make the playoffs but never win kind of guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he has had a losing season, and like, so what?
Yeah.
Russ didn't do good either. So
isn't that Joe Burrow's story too? Like,
yeah, he hasn't. The closest he got right was when they faced the Rams in the Super Bowl 50. What was it? Forgot which one it was. 54.
What was it? Which one?
I think it was 52.
I forget.
Yeah, it was something 54, 55 or something.
Which one?
Bengals Rams.
Bengals.
Oh yeah, the Super Bowl 54. I think.
It was 54.
56.
Yeah.
56.
It was 6?
56?
Wow. Yep, okay. I just looked it up.
Oh, okay. Gridflow agrees 56.
Yeah,
I just spitballing off the top of my head. Yeah, well, as we found though, it's hard. It's hard to win the Super Bowl, man. It's hard enough just to make the playoffs and win a playoff game. It's tough to get.
Oh yeah.
That's why why it doesn't. The 49ers have been so close so many times that they should have won, a couple of times. Yeah. They could have won the Super Bowl. They could have won it against Kansas City 2 years ago. Maybe arguably should have won that game.
They could have won it before that, too, against Kansas City.
And against Kansas City, that was when Garoppolo was quarterback, right? Where he could have won the game with a deep pass and he overthrew the receiver. That would have, that would have been. So they were like, you imagine, in that game, I got to watch that Super Bowl 2 years ago in Las Vegas, and if they don't block the extra point, if the Chiefs don't block the 49ers extra point, 49ers are probably world champions. There's so many things that by the thinnest of margins, the Chiefs somehow pulled that sucker off, to my
It's called sports.
amusement. It is. I'm just saying it's hard to get there, and the 49ers have been there so many times right on the doorstep. And then, now you're kind of seeing that, they're kind of like, this last year was pretty bad. And now they got this whole Brock Purdy. They're still trying to figure out that contract, aren't they, with Purdy?
Yeah.
And once you pay this dude how much he's probably worth, your salary cap is screwed. They enjoyed. They basically had the Russell Wilson, but better than Russell Wilson deal. During the time when we had him from 2012 to 2015, but we got 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 win out of it. The Brock Purdy one is. They had
should have been 2 wins. We all know that, though.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll give you one team though that's having a very good draft. I'll say I think the Patriots are having a very good draft right now.
Oh yeah.
Very good draft.
I was honestly thinking Carolina was having a good draft. They're actually doing things.
Oh yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I just don't know how Shedeur hasn't been drafted yet. Like, is it because of his dad or what?
It's got to be something bigger. Like,
it's got to be the attitude. It's got to be an attitude thing. That's why DK dropped. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't drafted.
It's a factor for sure when you think about it's your quarterback, right? because he sets the tone for
I'm
the
just
whole
wondering if
team.
we're gonna like know something more or something. Like that's kind of what I'm also waiting on. It's like, is there some bombshell that's gonna drop? It's like, oh, this is why this has happened, or like this is, or it's just like no one wants to pick him up, like which could also be another possibility.
It could also have something to do with the injuries, though, too. I mean, people, taking a chance with somebody that's had 3 season-ending injuries in 5 years.
He was pretty cocky about the.
Well, Michael Penix had an injury history with knees and shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't stop him from getting drafted.
Right, but they weren't necessarily season-ending. They were just recurring injuries.
Right.
The Falcons drafted him, so.
I think it's something else. It just because all the hype leading up to it, everybody was talking about him. Even here locally, they were talking about Shedeur Sanders.
Very good player. Very good player. University of Miami played with Cam Ward. Very good player. Arroyo's a good pickup for y'all.
I just think that it's probably because of his dad, because John Deion Sanders. Ugh.
I know. I can't.
It almost begs the question if it's like the LeBron James and Bronny James situation, if they're scared of that happening.
Right. Yeah. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The tree's gonna be right there, growing right into you.
I honestly, I think my most logical rationale, I would say at this point, would probably have to be that just they don't want to deal with the drama that comes with his dad. That's really the only thing I can see at this. I mean, again, that's the only thing we know at this point. We don't see it. We haven't heard anything like whether it's like in the draft process. I mean, outside of what he's like clearly done publicly, or something of that. I think it just comes with the drama of Deion. I really think that's the best rationale as of right now.
Right, because if you look at his physical traits, there's nothing in there that would tell you,
he's pretty good.
That he's any significantly worse than some of these other quarterbacks have gone before him. So the stuff that on the numbers don't show.
Not want to get drafted? Didn't his dad not want him to get drafted?
No.
Or
he wants him drafted.
Really?
Of course he wants him drafted, I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah, how would he not want him to get drafted? Right.
How would he not want him drafted? Right.
I mean, that's your meal ticket, right? That's your guaranteed lottery ticket right there. It's like every time you drop a round, that's like a big chunk of the pay scale going.
And I bet you that's another reason too, is they're afraid of the contract negotiations of what his dad's going to do.
Right.
I just wonder if he's going to go. That's my question.
Right.
Where's he going to go?
Alex Alberto says, will Quinn Ewers be drafted before Shedeur? At this rate, anything's possible. Again, I don't think it's about this. It doesn't seem to be about the talent. It's
the question
else.
becomes, is the next QB off the board going to be Sanders?
I would not be surprised if Ewers goes before Sanders now.
I wouldn't be shocked if Kyle McCord goes before Ewers at this point.
Is that your quarterback?
That's he was at he played at Ohio State for 3 years and he transferred to Syracuse. He was coached by Jeff Nixon, the offensive coordinator here, who's had a lot of NFL experience, and he basically led the country in passing offense last year at Syracuse. So,
maybe. Hey, welcome to the party line.
He doesn't move very well, but
I don't know why people are.
Real quick, welcoming to the party line from the 916. What's your name?
Norb.
Yes, who is this?
This is Anish in Vancouver. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's Anish. Okay, I didn't recognize the number. Okay.
I'm just out of town right now in Sacramento, but I need to make a phone call because I am fired up. Are you fired up?
Yeah, man. I was a little puzzled on this last move.
Jaylen Milroe?
I had him as my best quarterback if we were going to go quarterback, but I had quarterback at the bottom of my list of needs. So I was a little bit like mixed emotions on it. But the more I keep talking about it, thinking about it, the more excited I'm getting about it. So, yeah, the rest of it, I love it, though, man.
Now, so I guess it's good.
What do you think, Anish? What's your, just jumping in here, what's your take on what we got so far? You seem pretty happy from the tone of your voice.
I'm really happy. I'm really pumped. I mean, we got a position need in the first round yesterday. We got a badass safety, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could say that, but that's
You can
what
say
we
that.
got. With big body safety. I mean, yeah.
Cam Chancellor 2.0.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. But that's heavy expectations. We don't want to put that on them.
I know. We don't want to say the next Aaron Donald, the next Lamar Jackson, the next Cam Chancellor, but he's built like him. He definitely's got his build. So it's hard not to compare.
I know Sam Dog was pumped up earlier, and just like everyone, like, I think, the quarterback, like I said, he's got, if you saw Nick Saban, his reaction, I mean, he put it down that this guy's got a deep ball, and, it's basically, we're okay at quarterback this year, obviously. We're good at quarterback this year. He's going to sit and wait, and we'll see what happens, right? But so far, we got like a top 5 defense, in my opinion. We've got a lot of good pieces in place now, right? And this is the year. What
do you think about the tight end? You didn't mention him, Elijah Arroyo. Do you like that pickup too?
You know what? I do like the pickup. I mean, it's as well a position in need. We're getting pieces that we need to fill in, right? In my opinion, we still got some work to do on the offensive line. I get it. Still, but you know what? Like at the end of the day, some of the pieces we've added, like especially yesterday and just today, the safety. Like I'm really fired up. I think this is gonna be a great year, and I think we're winning the division. I don't want to get ahead of myself and stuff, but I think we will be at least winning the division at this point, in my opinion. And
you're definitely getting ahead of yourself, but I like it. We're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Division is good.
We're going to Super Bowl.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with you on that one, but you got to prove it, right? But right now I say the team to beat still is the Rams, right? They're our nemesis.
No, you're right.
They're our arch rival, and they're doing pretty good over there too. They made some moves, right? Who did they picked up? What's his name? They lost Cooper, but they picked up who's the receiver they picked up?
Which one?
Well, name
Adams.
Yeah,
Puka
Adams.
Nacua?
Well, no, the Puka Nacua they already had, but they got Adams. Yeah, I mean Devontae, right?
Yeah,
he's not the same as he was,
they
but
improved, but so do we, right? We got better too, right? Keep in mind, we got better too.
Well, we got worse, and then we got better. I think. Like DK, DK Lockett, and then we went Cooper Kupp and MVS. And you kind of go, okay, they kind of do sort of fit the same roles as we had with those two. But the question is going to be, well, which ones? It's like we got the older, Tyler was already older, but we got on the downside of his career Cooper Kupp version, as well as the MVS version, but they're both kind of that type, right? Tall, speedster guy, not as great hands. That's pretty much DK Metcalf in another form. And then you've got Cooper Kupp, who is outstanding. Well, I should had been outstanding, and I'm hoping he'll be outstanding again here.
Eastern in college, man.
He was awesome. Well, the year they won the Super Bowl, man, Super Bowl MVP year. I mean, he just had that one lightning in a bottle year that just blew every one of his seasons away. But he hasn't had one like that since.
Coming home, it's going to reignite that fire that he had because it's been a long time since he's played for his home.
Hey, Lewis, I want to ask you as a Chiefs fan, you watched Marquez Valdez-Scantling pretty closely for a while. What can you say about him? Because now we got him.
I mean, the best way I would say. I mean, I think he has he's one of those things. I think he could definitely get back to what he was very good for this year, some of the year, and then was a bit off at other points. I think he has a talent that he could be very good. The only question is he can be streaky at times. But also it's Mahomes was also at a time because of all the targets that Mahomes has, it's he can't he could just be spreading the wealth also. Again, your offense is not with Travis Kelce and all those weapons on it. So again, I think he definitely has the potential for sure to
absolutely does.
Well, the knock on him is that he doesn't catch the football on MVS, right? He just doesn't have good hands.
That's the thing. He could be great at one point, but then he could be an absolute dud at another point. It's very streaky.
Yeah. I ran him a couple years as a flex receiver for bye weeks in fantasy football. I mean, like you said, there's weeks he'll pay off, and it'll be great to have him on the team. But again, like you said, he drops the ball, and as we all know, dropping the ball in the NFL equals bench time, and why are we paying for bench time, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I think like it's one of those like high risk, high reward sort of things where it's like he could catch the ball consistently and then he'll continue to play, or he'll just go back to where he's very streaking and drop the ball continuously and then he'll see the bench. Like
quick shout out
to one of
to
those things like you kind of have to like. You see this potential in a player, like even just like a running back or something. Like,
well, it's funny that you bring that up. I want to address something in the chat. First, I want to say hi to Yusuf, Teddy De La Cruz from Guam. AH says he's got a question. I'll get your question. Just can post it here in a second. Gridflow says MVS is way worse than DK. He says so. What DK is one of these players that. Well, I was disappointed to see him go. The reason I was disappointed. Attitude is definitely DK's favorite.
Attitude, I'm glad
he owns that himself. That's his specialty.
He wasn't meant to replace DK. Right. It was Cooper that replaces DK, the big-bodied.
But they play kind of different skill sets. But the thing about DK, and I think the most frustrating thing about when he wanted to trade was that. If you were to ask me, is DK a great receiver? Is he a top 5 receiver? I would have to sit there, even though I'm wanting him to be, I'd be going, he's getting there, but he's not there. He's getting paid like he's a top 5 receiver. He's got the skill set and the physical attributes.
He's not that. He's not anywhere near that.
The problem with him, the problem with DK.
Holding him back from a top 5 is his chip on his shoulder. The penalties he gets, the constant fights, like. If you can drop that and just play ball and focus on the game, he could easily make top 5 receiver.
Well, the other issue with DK is his route running is sometimes suspect. Some of that's led to interceptions because he doesn't stay on the route he's supposed to run. He's also had a history of, because he thinks he's Superman, he doesn't ever want to go down. He's like the opposite of Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett just folds like a cheap suit. But DK will not go down, and the result of that has been sometimes he turns it over because he's so busy trying to keep going that the ball gets knocked off when he's clearly no point in going forward because you're stopped already. Instead, you just keep making yourself a target to get the ball knocked out. And then there are times when he just didn't catch the football when he should. Like body catches the ball and drops it, or there's a high point. Like the guy can jump out of the gym. But there are times when the ball's thrown up high, he should be the guy getting it over everybody, and he'll mistime his jump, or he'll just... I was like, well, how did you not get that ball? That should have been yours all the way. But somehow he mistimed it and didn't get it. So there really is a lot of unrealized potential that I felt when he was leaving, because it was just that feeling like either this is who DK is, or DK is going to get unlocked at some other team because whatever reason he just figures it out or gets the right scheme with a different coordinator or coach or quarterback, and he gets great somewhere else. I guess at this point I'm hoping that it's the former, that this is just who he is. He's a really talented guy who just couldn't quite put all the talents together on the football field, and so we'll never see that. But it'll kill me if he gets Megatron type numbers on the next team. I'll be like, where the hell was this last 6 seasons? So we'll see. Yeah.
Corn Robinson, he had a lot of potential too.
Corn Robinson, that's a good one. But didn't he buy a dolphin? I want to say, didn't Corn Robinson buy a dolphin?
Yeah.
Something weird about him.
He had a lot of potential, man. That guy had a lot of potential back in the 2001 draft. He was at, whatever happened. I just hope everything's okay now for him in his personal life. But he could have been a good one if he just, got it together.
I got to tell you, I got to tell you a Corn Robinson story.
Defense still, you think?
Huh?
Do y'all need defense still, you think? Do you think the Seahawks still need defense?
We still need.
No, we're
you're never done building up a defense. We could definitely use a pass rusher. We can use another interior lineman. Yeah. We can use a inside linebacker. We can use a cornerback.
Jack Sawyer's still on the board. Jack Sawyer's still on the board from Ohio State. Very good, inside pass rush. He was the he made that game-winning fumble return for the CD for Ohio State in the champ game last year. Very good player.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be there by the time we pick, because we're not picking for a while in this fourth round.
That's one. Yeah, there's still some good players though up here. That's for sure.
Right. Brandon Williams asks, is there any merch that you can buy? Yes, I actually have a store on the merch site. I think there's a link to it in the description. The Norb merch store.
Yeah.
So if you want to check that out, there's definitely had a Teespring shop. I think they just call it Spring now, but there should be a link in the description.
Are you
so check
streaming
it out.
tomorrow, Norb, by the way? Are you streaming tomorrow?
I'm not going to stream. I'm going to definitely try to at least stream around the time that we're picking. So, yeah, I'll do some streaming tomorrow. Yeah. I want to tell you a Corn Robinson story. So, as a lot of you know, I'm not just a video, social media guy for Seahawks content, but I do film production as my business. And so we were doing a commercial with Corn Robinson, and we were doing the spot with kids, and so he was like, interacting with the kids and stuff. So we wanted to do a scene where we were showing him like helping a kid on a computer. So we didn't see what was on the screen. We were just having him like showing him like, hey, look at that, And so what they were looking at, I remember I was like puzzled because Corn Robinson basically pulled up the Seagulls cheerleader site and it was like showing like, oh yeah, look at her, she's pretty hot to this like 80-year-old kid. I was like, oh my God, it's a good thing we're not recording audio on this because, oh my God, this is not appropriate here. This is probably back. When was Corn Robinson? Was it in early
2001 he was drafted, but then he came, he got cut after a while, then he came back again. He came back in 2008 when we had all those injuries on wide receiver, if you remember that 2008 season.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting hurt, like Burlista got hurt, Branch got hurt, then we had to bring back.
That was a painful year. That was Mike Holmgren's last year. We went 4-12 that year.
Yeah. 4-12 year, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real,
Matt got hurt too.
Yeah.
He missed games. Seneca played.
A very sorry send-off to Mike Holmgren on his final season with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
But
Seneca Wallace had some crazy games. He had 8 touchdowns and 1 pick only. I think look at the games he played.
Remember when he had a catch? He had actually split out as a wide receiver against the Carolina Panthers on one of the first plays of the NFC Championship game here in Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah. And those were the days, right, Norb?
Those were the days. Well, that wasn't quite the day because we never did win a Super Bowl in that era. We had to wait till the next, 5 years later, 6, 7 years later. But yeah, they were fun years.
That game's the best game I went to.
That was pretty.
That one always the first time's always the best time for me.
Did you?
Yeah, that whole season was amazing. Just ended on a bad note. What?
Yeah.
Say again?
See, the one thing that we posted about our safety that we drafted is that Cam Chancellor was his favorite player.
Oh, not just that, but did you hear? Yeah, and also his Cam Chancellor's coach also coached him up too.
Really?
I read about I heard that in an interview post draft when he got picked. So, yeah. No, it's pretty. That's why it's hard not to make the comparison because there's a lot of connections there.
Did you also see I saw these headlines from the draft of when Golden was selected for the Packers, the crowd went nuts or something. I didn't get what the whole buzz around that was. It was just it was a long time since the Packers
it's the first time the Packers had drafted a receiver since in the first round since 2002 or something.
Gotcha.
That was I think that was
the
the thing about it. That's interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But Norm, I got one here about good chance.
Yeah, Nice, thanks for calling in. That's always good to hear from you. Yeah, hopefully we'll have some more diamonds in the rough in the next few rounds.
We'll catch up this season as well.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing you at the stadium, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you.
All right. Take it easy.
Good. Good love, man.
Take care. Yep.
It's going to be a good in this year, that's for sure.
So somebody asked the early prediction. So who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl for 2025? So I'll ask you guys the same question. Way too early pick. But who would you guys say would be the early favorites?
You agreed with me on that pick.
I'm thinking
Eagles.
I think the NFC. It's hard to root against the Eagles because they haven't really given you any reason that they couldn't come back because they're still pretty intact other than losing a couple players here and there. But
Eagles and the Ravens.
Eagles and who?
Eagles and the Ravens. Eagles and the Ravens.
Eagles and Ravens.
Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of said Eagles and sorry, KC. I kind of said Eagles and Bills or Eagles and Ravens. Ravens are another funny team. They're kind of like the 49ers in the sense that it's like the Chiefs have been their AFC kryptonite. And they just can't.
Yeah.
Well, the 49ers have actually gotten to the Super Bowl and lost. The Ravens just can't get past that champ game. They keep getting stuck in the the ceiling is the AFC championship game. They can't get any further than that. This year they lost. Didn't they actually lose in the divisional round?
Yeah, I think so.
When Mark Andrews dropped that pass. Was that the divisional?
Yeah, against the Bills.
Yeah, because then the champ game was Bills and Chiefs, right?
And then the Bills went on against the Chiefs. And
yeah, then the Bills had that nail-biter game where they almost got that pass.
And then Josh Allen cried because they lost. Yeah. I felt bad for him. Really bad.
I know. But, yeah, then the Chiefs went and laid an egg in the Super Bowl. Yep. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess that would be my pick at this point. Easy, way too early pick. The Eagles coming back, taking on one of those.
I don't understand why we even do this stuff this early.
Why we have these ridiculous predictions when we haven't even seen, we barely even know who the team is yet. It's just because it's fun.
I mean, the guys
it's just
haven't even
fun to
gotten their
speculate.
playbook yet.
Yeah, I know. It's just fun to kind of imagine.
Yeah, I remember that. I still remember the day after when the Chiefs and Bills played up here. It was so tense up here. It was 2 hours from Buffalo up here.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it was crazy that day.
Yeah, Justin's got to go. What you got?
Schedule playing out.
Oh, you mean like our win-loss record?
Well, when do you think our bye week's going to be? And what team or what order do you think we'll play?
They announced yesterday that the schedule will come out on May 14th, by the way. I'm going to be helping my daughter move out of her dorm in San Diego at that time, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'll have to do like a really crude on-the-road type of scheduling breakdown, but I think for me, as far as just, I don't know what the breakdowns of what it's going to be. Will we be playing a game in Ireland, perhaps, against the Steelers? That would be pretty cool. That's a very distinct possibility.
Cool, yeah.
But as far as the record prediction, I mean, I think we should be as good as we were last year. Maybe a bit better. 11-6, baby.
You know, I think we're going better than 10-7.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 11-6.
That's for sure.
I'm hoping for 12 wins this year. Improvement from last year.
12 would be great. 11 would be nice too, as long as we keep going in the up direction. But we gotta beat the Rams. Can't beat the Rams, man. They've been our.
Well, thanks for having me, Norb. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, Justin, no problem. Thanks for joining in and chatting and everything, man. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the draft weekend.
Your daughter's a freshman at San Diego State, right?
No, she will be a freshman. My youngest one will be. My older daughter is finishing up her sophomore year already.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. That's how fast time's going.
Lord, she's getting old.
Tell me about it. So, Lewis, you're finishing up your freshman year?
Freshman year.
Okay. So how has Syracuse treated you, man? And what are you planning to go into, by the way?
I'm hoping to head into the sports journalism field. Studying at the the best broadcasting school in the country, in my opinion, at the Newhouse School. So,
which school?
It's called the Newhouse School of Public Communications. It's the journalism school here within Syracuse, and a ton of broadcasts have come out of it, like Iron Eagle, Scott Hansen, who runs Red Zone now, has came out of here. A lot of other people. So, I mean, it's treating me pretty well. Winters up here are absolutely brutal. I mean, it snowed I think 120 some inches this season, which is the worst in 10 years. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. The people here are really good. And just got a week left, and it's been a great year. So, really excited for what's to come.
You're going to be working in the sports realm, right? Sports broadcasting is what you plan to get into?
Yep.
Right on.
Yep.
Glad you're living up the dream, man. I remember you way back when you were still in high school, and we started doing this stuff like 5 years ago. And
my God,
your voice was higher then.
I
had
a horrible-looking haircut. I had a.
And you had the glasses. I don't think you have the glasses anymore, right?
Than now.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it was funny. I only used those. I think the only reason I had those glasses is because, like, I was kind of. I mean, I went to like the eye doctor once, and they said I was farsighted, but I still was able to see far away fine. So, like, it was one of those things. Like, I was kind of listening to it early on. That's why I would always wear them when we used to do this stuff. But then it just got to the point I was like, I went in again. They're like, yeah, you don't need it. So that's just the reason.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, it's been fun because, you know, like DJ Squabo, who's now, of course, Noah Bolter, he's working in the broadcasting now. We were all doing our stuff a few years ago, and it's cool to see you guys sort of just taking off in your directions and going from high school or some of the middle school when I met.
You got to do it again, though, with the younger generation, though.
I know.
Keep it going.
Yep. You're like in that in-between now. You're not a kid anymore. You're not quite into that working world. You're in that transitional phase.
I'm at the end of my teenage years, man. I'm old as hell.
I know. You're in the cocoon stage. You were just a caterpillar when I met you, and now you're in the cocoon transforming, and now you're going to graduate and fly off like a butterfly. Sting like a bee. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Anyway. All right, well, I'm going to wrap things up, guys. Thanks for tuning in, man. It's good to hear from everybody who called in, to everybody who chatted, and especially who super chatted, like Pyro Griffin and Sam and Mav's Vlogs. Who else chatted earlier? Grid Flow, of course. And I think that's it. So thank you guys for your support. And thanks for just hanging out for a little while. We'll see what happens tomorrow with the chat. Yeah, say hi to Hamilton. We'll talk to you later, man.
One more thing, Norb.
Yo.
I think Cristostomo is going to be very, very mad this season when the Seahawks beat the 49ers twice.
Hey, don't say it. Don't even say it. Hey, what a world, what a world. See you later. Get off my phone line. Get out of here. Hey. All right. Yeah, Chris also got to make some more appearances, man. He's been missing in action for too long. All right. Well, thanks for you guys for tuning in. We'll see what the surprises the draft brings tomorrow. Have a good night. We'll catch you next time. Go Hawks.
Yo, I'm Ken Walker, running back for the Seattle Seahawks.
Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks. DK Metcalf. KJ Wright. Hey, Burleson. You're watching NorbFam. You're watching NorbFam.